If you notice recently, there is a certain trend, even more than before, to create an atmosphere of doom and gloom, of the end of the world is coming, water level is rising, and that creates a certain sense of despair by people, losing of hope. But you need to understand maybe what is happening here. We are human, and each and every one of us, every human being, inside of him, her, and I'm not going to use it or they, there is a divine spark that was put down here in our bodies into our neshama from the time of Adam HaRishon. Chazal tells us that Adam HaRishon, Adam, the guy with Eve, his neshama, his soul included all the souls together. And when he sinned, that shattered his souls into billion fragments. Some small, some big. And each fragment attaches itself to a neshama, and then it comes down to this world. The purpose of that is that by us doing the right thing, we'll be able to fix that particle of the Nishmat Adam HaRishon that it's inside of us. And by doing so, we'll be able to create a whole picture together. It will be like, let's say, for example, if each and every human being that came to this world and will come to this world has a small piece in this giant puzzle that each and every one of us has to put in place in the puzzle. Our job, of course, is to identify that piece, and throughout our lives, to strive to find its right location in the puzzle, and then deposit it there, and then the tikkun is complete, and then we see the whole entire picture, and then we do kol ha'me'aretz ko Hashem Elokim. That's called the tikkun olam b'malchut shakai. That's fixing the world. Of course, we have to stay loyal to that task in life. And that's a very difficult thing in our generation, more than ever before. Well, first of all, in previous generations, they had prophets. Prophecy was a very common thing. You didn't know what to do, you go to your local prophet, you ask, what's my journey in life? What's my purpose in life? The prophet will tell you, local prophet says, it will be like a spiritual guidance counselor. So it's an aptitude test that they will give you. They would say, you have to become a baker. Baker, I want to become a brain surgeon. Your goal is to become a baker. And your success, your happiness, your fulfillment will come from that. Of course, the question is, how do we do that? How do we find our destiny, our goal, our purpose in life? Well, first stage is, first of all, have to be aware that there is a spiritual aspect to you. And then you need to connect with that spirituality. And what connects that spirituality, what allows the conductor that allows you to connect to your spirituality and then get the whole process going, that fuel, that conductor, is called emet. The truth. You have to strive for the truth. In In our world, especially in the scientific world, listen, science is important. Science is wonderful, but science is limited by the laws that science itself had created to itself. For example, if you can measure something in science, it does not exist. But it doesn't mean it's not there. For example, I told you this before, we were talking about it last week. If you ever see a person that you know alive, there's a certain thing. If you, God forbid, see the same person, that person, see him dead. So, well, the features are the same features, but it's something else. Something is missing here. You will notice, not with your imagination, you would notice with your own eyes. Something is missing here. It looks like him. It's like somebody put a mask. If I would be able, for example, to create a mask of Sam, right, and I'll put it on Idan, it would look like, there's a Mission Impossible, like this, You would tell that something is missing, and he's not, you can say a person is sleeping. It's not sleeping. People that are asleep look different than dead people. Now, in our world today, through the implementation of fear and the sense of chaos and deterioration of boundaries, as we spoke about yesterday, there is, I think, an overall effort to turn humans into machines. For example, if you're going to look at a beautiful red Ferrari, it's a gorgeous machine, does the car look different when it's off or when it's on? You look at a Harley Davidson or Indian motorcycle, beautiful machines. I mean, some of the stuff is like almost like modern art. Look at a nice black Indian bike with a gorgeous V8. I mean, it's beautiful. It could be a statue. I don't see the difference between that and some other modern art that it's in a museum. It's a gorgeous thing. It's just beautiful. Beautiful, streamlines, gorgeous. Is there a difference between when it's turned off or it's on? No. Because it's a machine. What the effort today by very few people is to generalize, create an internal chaos in the hearts, in the minds, and in the souls of people, to turn them into machines for one reason. I'm not talking about vaccinating with the microchips. That's a bunch of nonsense. It will be easier to turn people the way they are today than to implant chips into people and operate them, believe me. And this is by telling you, and we all know the economy is down, everything is down. Like, for example, look at the United States. Makes trillions of dollars in money that they make, for example, from arms deals. All over the world. Where's all this money? Look at New York City. You know how much money they make out of, like, what I call illegal traffic lights? Not traffic lights, illegal speed cameras. And still they're in like $3 billion, $4 billion deficit. Well, how is this possible? Where did all the money go? How is it that when Bloomberg was, previous, they had a surplus, and now they're in a deficit? Where did all the money go? The city doesn't look any better. What happened? How is it that government is the only body that does not really give an account to where the money is going? They want to know where every single penny of yours is going, but they don't tell you what they do with the money. Officially they do, but practically they don't. It's just to create chaos in you. And the reason why to create chaos in you, if you are not spiritual, you are becoming a tool in the hands. Yeah, I know I sound like a conspiracy thing, but I'm talking to you about spiritual things, not conspiracy. When you are in such a state of internal turmoil, you can't think straight. You're looking for quick fixes, and then you're in the hands in the person who's created, or the body that creates that. And I don't think it's just America that, it's all over the world. It's all over the world. The trend is not to become spiritual, to bash down, to almost go on a crusade against anything that might give you spirituality. Anything that would connect you to God. Anything. There's almost a crusade against that. And for those who represent it and tell you you should be more spiritual. And it starts with very little things, by making you buy and spend and be irresponsible. They create a certain void inside of you, like you have to have it. You really don't have to have much. And it's very sad. And I would recommend to you to stop listening to the news, radio, TV, stop reading newspapers. Look at the world we are today. Everybody is in a frenzy for making Bitcoin. And I told you this before. I said, don't invest in Bitcoin. Invest in bitachon, in emunah in Hashem. Have bitachon. Have faith. Everybody wants to become rich overnight, because that will give you a sense of security. You don't need that. It's easier for you and much better for you to invest in internal security rather than in an imaginary security of Bitcoins. Everybody knows of the guy who invested $8,000 and made $5 billion. But nobody tells you the person who found God in his life and found faith in his life and finds security and meaning to his life, and every moment of his life counts for something because he knows what to do. Call it the cabal, call it whatever it is. They don't want you to know what you want. They want to tell you what you want. They don't want you to believe in God, and they'll do everything in their power to take you away, to break you away from Ribbono Shel Olam. By making everything that was illegal, legal. Everything. Any moral that we had is being shattered. They tell you, we're going to give you more freedom, but they destroy your morality. They go to the darkest parts inside of you and then bring them to light. Instead of focusing on the good, and mainly the darkness disappears. You always concentrate on what you don't have. You don't concentrate on what you have and how blessed you are. All of us who live in this amazing country with wealth beyond belief. Each and every one of us experience luxuries that kings did not have. And yet we feel like we don't have anything. Less fulfilled because we become less spiritual. So I would challenge you to stop that rat race. Stop with it. Concentrate on what you need to do. Connect to your spirituality. Connect to your neshama. Be honest with yourself, with what you want, what makes you happy. Forget about what the world defines as success. Success is not how many zeros you got in the bank. Success is how fulfilled, how many numbers you have in your heart. What do you feel that makes you going? Well, if I'll do this, nobody would marry me. Also, don't get married. If, for example, let's say you're guys, right? So if there's a girl, if you feel that no girl would marry you because you do what you love, I'll tell you that. So don't get married. Better off to be a fulfilled person, not married, than a broken person that is married. All you gotta do is get divorced. But I'll tell you that if you're going to live fulfilled life, you're going to reach down to the point that you feel good about yourself. You feel internally enriched. A person that is able to give because he touches resources. You're increasing your chances to marry the right one in 10,000 times. Because if you don't, you are playing a game, you're playing a role, you're never going to be yourself, and so is the person you're going to marry is going to play a role, is going to play a game, and both of you are marrying people that you don't know who you are, and then one day you're going to wake up to the reality that you married the wrong person, or they married the wrong person. The disconnect from the world outside, the way it is today. I'm not saying don't go to work. I'm not saying don't be a part of the world. But disconnect from the mentality and the culture of chaos, of helplessness, and mentality that it's all good, whatever I want, I can do. The concept of ratzon, Resh Tzadik Vav Nun, Ratzon, is a good thing or a bad thing. If it's Ratzon Atzmi, Mibchinat Atzmi, myself, all I want is for myself, you know that everything positive, there's something parallel negative to it. Ratzon Atzmi, selfishness, is Mitzad Klipa, comes from the bad side. That's why we know that the child, at the beginning, we always said, you said last week, first comes the klipa, then comes the pri. So the ratzon atzmi is for myself. However, the ratzon also need to lead to somewhere. And the same letters of ratzon is also notzar, something created. What are you creating? So ratzon that comes from tzad kedusha always creates new things. It gives. Inside out, it gives, it gives, it gives, it gives, it gives. Ratzon atzmi is only inside. You take from me inside, from here inside. You never want to share anything. So mimele, that willingness to only receive and not to give, that's mitzad klipa, that's midat dom. What's midat dom? Midat dom is what? Whatever mine is mine, whatever is yours is mine. I only want to give. I don't want to give. I don't want to give to. I don't see. For me, it's like to give all the time. I don't want to give. I just want to give. I get from you. 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 And if you have more and you don't want to give, I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make you spend what you don't need to, so you won't have. And there's some people that like to spend other people's money. They're good at spending other people's. They convince you. Oh, you need to buy it. 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 You give them $100 to buy something, they buy something for $110. They want $10 also. That's the problem with our society. Now you got to do this journey inside. Gonna do whatever you can in your power to increase your spirituality. Whatever you can in your power. To try to live more truthful life. To know really what you love and do it while you can, because there might be a time that you won't be able to. Reach down to the truth. Reach down to the bottom of yourself. Disconnect from news, media, negativity. From negative people. Could be your own father and mother. If they're negative, disconnect. Get used to find solutions, not problems. No problems, only solutions. Don't talk behind people. Behind people's back. Don't be a dividing element. Be a connecting element. Don't be passive aggressive, because that's cowardice. Lead by strength, by silence, by example. Now, believe me, I promise you, you're going to go through an unbelievable journey through life. Unbelievable journey through life. Whether it's going to be long, or short, It's going to be an enjoyable, wonderful ride. And that's what I want to share with you today. Have a wonderful, blessed, and spiritual day.
Baruch.